Hey guys, welcome back. Karam's Reef. I am so happy to be back and starting to film and kind of slowly introduce to you guys this new tank build. As you guys know, previously I owned three different tanks, which were the 10-gallon cube tank, the 75-gallon mixed reef, and the 40-gallon cube as well. Um, Between that time and now, a lot changed. I moved, and so kind of, with the move and setting everything back up, it took a little bit. So I do apologize about the pause, but I'm actually really excited to show you guys this setup, mainly because I've been putting so much work into it. Um, I've went from having three to one tank, and I have to say, I am enjoying the one singular tank right now, mainly because your main focus is on that tank. You don't get to get distracted with other tanks. They don't take up as much time. I mean, I was spending anywhere between 1 to 3 hours a day focusing on tanks previously, whether that was feeding, testing, making sure all the corals were fine. So a huge de-stressor, I would say. But nonetheless, let's start talking about this tank. So this is the Waterbox 60.2. It comes with a sump that I was able to actually swap it out with a different sump. I think it was from Ice Cap. Not 100% sure. No, I apologize. It's a Fiji sump. But nonetheless, it's not an all-in-one. It's pre-drilled, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's pretty unique. Um, Paired up with that, I tried to keep it pretty similar across the board when it comes to controlling or when it comes to lighting. So my brand to pick here was Ecotech, and mainly because I just wanted to see how these A lights would do and B their power heads. I've never owned MP40s before, and so this is my first time. And also paired with the MP40, I have the G6 XR15. I believe they're the pros, they're not the blues. And I also have paired up with the mix, the S2 Vectra for the return pump. And so having that controllability when it comes to if I want to feed the tank or make slight adjustments, which I have been doing, it's quite easy. And then my control for this tank, which hasn't been completely set up, I would say about 65 to 75% set up. Took some time. I mean, honestly, I think what's more confusing than what's actually like setting up an Apex to begin with, brand new, is so confusing. But then being able to take that Apex that I had previously on my 75-gallon tank and just kind of combining all the equipment that I have into one singular tank is like 10 times more confusing. Being able to reprogram everything is just a pain. But I was able to get from a local reefer a canopy that was custom made. So on to the right, as you guys can see, on the top, I have my tridents sitting there, which, like I said, it's about 75% set up. So those tridents are actually not set up. Um, and then right underneath, you can see that's where I put my MP40 controller. That's where the Apex brain is, and then that's where my DOS unit is as well. So I tried to stay really in between those two companies, and I kind of do regret it, mainly because a lot of issues can arise, and B, they're expensive, and not something that you just get right into right away. But neither to say, this setup was originally, when I had the plannings and the idea, was set up to be a mixed reef, mainly focused on SPS and LPS. Um, but that quickly, like dramatically changed as time goes on. Mainly because I feel like I'm falling back into I'm falling in love with the anemones. They're extremely easy to keep, especially the bubble tips. There are some challenging ones which I'll be talking about pretty soon, and they're just straightforward. Um, you get to trade them with other reefers, or you get to give them away to other reefers, and it kind of expands your ability to meet other people, and they add a great addition to the tank. Quite honestly, you have the flow with the tentacles, and extremely straightforward. But I do want to try my hands with Zoas, a couple of SPS, and possibly LPS. We'll see. But that's not my main focus right now. My main focus is just being able to get the tank mature enough and keep on working when it comes to controllability. I do want to eventually get those tridents up. Even though I don't have corals, I think they are worth the investment and kind of understanding how they work, as they are also pretty straightforward. And just, kind of having that access through your phone, being able to read your alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, or nitrates and phosphates. That's only if I can eventually master the unit and be able to understand how it functions. But with the previous sales that were happening with BRS and across all saltwater sites, I was able to actually pick up a few henna reagents, and so that will be my next step, is to get the tridents up and start calibrating them. Now, I apologize, I'm going all over the place, and that's mainly because of my ADHD. Um, the skimmer on this tank is the Nios 120. I wanted to keep it extremely simple again, straightforward. One of the best skimmers out there based on reviews that I've done research on. And I figured I might as well, since it's, a plug and play. Break in the skimmer and then be able to kind of have a little bit more of a control. My move on this tank and my main approach, was be able to diverse the tank as much as possible. Now, with my previous understanding with previous tanks, it was the biggest goal was that I wanted to introduce different types of bacteria and different types of microbes. I heavily believe in that, and so with this tank, I do run carbon, but other than carbon, that is my main filtration. I have not filter blocks, media blocks, and bio balls in the tank, and so they carry a lot of bacteria, and that's my go-to. Whether I want to cycle a new tank in the future, I can just easily take some bio out and be able to seed a new tank, or just be able to kind of give them a safe haven to be able to multiply and thrive in the tank. But other than that, I am also occasionally right now, mainly because of the startup and with the tank, I'm running UV and also filter floss. But that's mainly because I'm picky with things and just want the water a little bit more crystal clear. Um, but really, other than that, that's about it. I'm extremely grateful because originally I started with one piece of rock from Chandler's Rock, amazing piece that I picked up a while ago from a frag swap. And so that was my centerpiece rock. But then when I originally did the move, bringing over the 10-gallon cube tank that I wanted to keep as an enemy tank, I was actually able to just pick up that rock and just put it in here. I figured, might as well let the. I didn't want to give too much stress to the anemones. And this is where these switch up kind of happened from, okay, you know, this tank was getting built to be an SPS mixed reef, and now it's kind of an anemone tank, just mainly because I actually liked how it looked. So I started to introduce more pieces, more rock pieces, and rock structures. So to the right and to the left, I have pretty good amount of rock there that I added, and then another piece right in the middle. So 4 total rocks in this tank. And then while moving this whole entire setup, the main rock did break. One of the ledges broke, and so I just put it right above the tank. But other than that, really, this tank is moving towards a beautiful lane and a beautiful light. I want to keep on collecting anemones. I want to keep on kind of seeing how my luck is with anemones. I did take my chance and I tried keeping a Ritterai magnifica anemone. I believe that's what they say, or how it's called, but my luck was not there. I set up a QT tank where the tridents were. I treated it with Cipro, but I believe I was a little bit too late with the whole treatment process. But now I do have a quarantine tank. I do have medications that are, you know, available for me to use next time I do take the chance. Now, some variations that I would love to keep in this tank would be a green bubble tip anemone. That's something that I've just been constantly looking for. Yeah, the tank is kind of mixed with rainbows and roses and some sort of faded color of rose or tan, purple tan. But I do really want to keep a green one in this tank. Extreme, like that's my next investment, just mainly because I want to bring out that color. But other than that, really, it's just, you know, being able to keep them together, being able to really understand them a little bit more, and be able to give you guys feedback on how the tank does. And a huge thing that I've actually not found, I haven't really found a lot online, was that when you're researching when it comes to anemones videos or anemone treatments, there's a few videos that have circulated online, but not anything within the last, I would say, few months. And so that's my main goal. Also, my motivation was to just post a video of a tank and be able to be like, hey, this is an enemy only tank, which is crazy of me to say right now. But that's my that's the path that this tank has chose to go. Now, a few fish that I am kind of waiting on and kind of holding back right now so far. I have 3 chromis in here. I have my pair of clowns that have been with me for about 4 years. And then I picked up a pair of bang eyes, well, which I can't actually say they're a pair. I don't know 100% sure yet. I kind of just randomly added 2. They've been hanging out together. I've read and done a bunch of research trying to figure out how to figure out which one's a male and which one's a female, but unfortunately that is outside of my scope and it's not something that I can easily do here. So I tried feeding them, I tried that, that's just not, so I figured nature would do its thing. And so if they're a pair, but they've been hanging out together. And then lastly, I have a yellowtail blue damsel in this tank. I wanted a damsel in here just because I'm a heavy believer in, okay, you know, you have a damsel in your tank, it's going to be, you know, the tank's going to be successful. Not successful, but like, damsels play such a huge role in a reef tank slash saltwater tank. Yes, they're aggressive, but they just have a role and they're supposed to be there. So I've kind of just, you know, I've accepted that. But the next few fish that I do want to end up investing in would be something that would eat up a little bit of the algae. I definitely do want to add some wrasses, but currently I don't have a lid, so I need to get a lid. And then I do want to just kind of look at different types of fish. I think one or two more in this tank, and it would kind of sum it all up. But that's future plans. And then, like I said, coral-wise, I'll see what I can really gear towards, whether that's SPS, possibly LPS, and then definitely Zoas, just to kind of introduce that color. And I feel like they do really well in tanks with different types of whether different types of corals and inverts. And surprisingly, talking about inverts, I do not have any shrimps, so a pair of cleaner shrimp in here would do perfectly fine. That's something that I would definitely look into. But other than that, guys, really appreciate you watching the video. I'm trying now to kind of keep uploading every single day. Once or twice is my goal on Instagram. Kind of get that started back up and start pushing out more posts and be able to connect with a lot more people. And then, yeah, my main goal in creating these videos, creating my posts on Instagram, and follow me on Instagram is to be able to connect with you guys. Everybody who watches online, everybody who is curious on how I do anything, or if really anything that, kind of sticks out to you. But let me bring you guys up front and kind of show you guys a little bit in regards to the tank. So this is what I was talking about. This is your main structure. It's getting overtaken with that brown diatom slash brown algae. But there's my tridents. I have an iPad here that I'm waiting to see what I can figure out doing. And then this is the radion. And then right here, which is a little bit of dark in here, but this is my carbon reactor. That's my skimmer, and it's doing pretty well. And then there's my bio balls, and then I do have a few more actual blocks back there. And then I have the apex running right there, and then just kind of monitoring the whole entire setup. And then something that was actually interesting to me was I actually built the plumbing to this tank. I ordered a few parts online. I had to get a conversion, and then a bunch of unions and valves all across here. And then for the return pump, I just decided clear tubing for now would do the job. But that's this. And then, like I said, this is where my main controlling is. You open up here. This is where I keep my goggles. This is where the apex sits, the MP40, and then the DOS eventually, if I do want to dose anything in particular, which I'm still up in the air. I got to figure out exactly what's going on. And then the local reefer, shout out to Scott, who set up and actually built this canopy from scratch, put an LED light in here. So I need to go in and program that into the system. But that basically means when the RODI, when the RO container is empty, it will turn on, which is a fascinating idea. But overall, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to catch you guys in a very short time. And until then, happy reefing.